Freddie Mercury is one of the few musicians in history to have achieved such global fame and popularity. When his stunning voice was heard on the radio, no one could have mistaken him for any other performer. He is widely regarded as one of the finest singers in the history of rock music. Because of this, the majority of admirers couldn't fathom that a public person could harbor such sinister secrets. You wouldn't believe what Freddie kept hidden, though. As Freddie's popularity grew, many of his admirers were unaware of his Indian heritage. He clearly preferred it that way. His close friends and family noticed that he treated his background like a secret, repressive thing. His friend went so far as to say that it was obvious he disliked broaching the subject. With the exception of expressing his gratitude that they had arrived in England, he rarely divulged any details about his life outside of England. Gujarat, India, is the birthplace of both Bhomi and Jair Bulsara. Freddie was given the name Faro Bulsara and a sister named Kashmira Bulsara when he was born. The island of Zanzibar, which is today a part of Tanzania, was Freddie and his sister's home. To ensure that Jair could continue working as a cashier at the British Colonial Office, Freddie's parents relocated to Zanzibar in 1946, when the island was still a British protectorate. It was necessary to register Freddie because they were in a British protectorate. Due to the revolution and societal turmoil in Zanzibar, Freddie's family, all British citizens, had to return to India. Freddie continued his education at a boys' boarding school and Beyond Books in Bombay, their first stop. He picked up his first piano lessons here. The boarding school takes on greater significance in the story when it is revealed that Freddie initially discovered his love for music and dedicated a significant amount of time to it while there, specifically at the age of one of Freddie's friends from when he was 12 years old recalled that he had a remarkable talent for picking up radio broadcasts and emulating them on the piano. He assembled the Heelys, a school band capable of performing rock and roll cover songs by artists such as Little Richard and Cliff Richard. The truth was that Freddie's idols were all Western pop musicians, so that's all Freddie ever listened to and played. Since his family quickly departed, he decided to go by the English name Freddie. They left India for Fathom, a little town outside of London, where they stayed for a while before making another move. North Polytechnic in West London was Freddie's second art school. His next stop was Enfield Art College, where he earned a diploma in graphic design and art. His schoolmates assumed he was merely occupying himself and would soon be completely devoted to music, but he lived and breathed it. A companion of his recalled their stay in. Even before he was in a band, Freddie declared his intention to become a pop star. Some people started to question his sanity because of his unwavering conviction. Unbeknownst to them, Freddie joined bands immediately after graduation, rather than seeking employment that would have allowed him to use his diploma. Initially, he was a member of the Liverpool band IEX. The group subsequently rebranded as Wreckage and featured extensive Hendrix music. Style heavy blues. Following the band's failure, he became a member of Sour Milk Sea, an Oxford band that also disbanded after a few years. As he pursued a career in music, Freddie worked odd jobs all over London. For a while, he even worked as an airport porter and sold second-hand clothing. In the Mossley Hill neighborhood of Liverpool, Freddie resided in a flat over a pub and the Pro Towers, but that was of no concern to him. Due to his ostentatious appearance, people often mistook him for that wild friend rather than realizing he was a singer. Despite his lack of preparation, he continued singing in bands across London until either the band disbanded or he made the decision to go on. Brian May and Roger Taylor, two of his closest friends, had also been bandless not long before he found out about it. Because of how precisely everything fell into place, it seemed fated that Freddie would attend so many of his friends' performances. He had long wished to be on stage with them. Even though they hadn't traveled to see Freddie play before, Brian and Roger finally got to do it with him on stage before the show ended. Because nobody knew it yet, Freddie, Brian, and Roger played on stage together for the first time in Liverpool. Fortunately, Freddie promptly invited them to form a new band with him. Without giving it much thought, the lads formed the band. Roger played drums, Brian was a fantastic guitarist, and Freddie could read music, play the piano, and had distinctive vocals. Before deciding on the grand dance, Brian and Roger proposed the name of the band, while Freddie proposed Queen. Both Brian and Roger felt that Queen was the more straightforward choice. Another major shift occurred at this time. Freddie finally felt like he could be completely authentic as the leader of the new band he was helping to form. Since Mercury was his ruling planet as a Virgo, he also chose to change his name to reflect it. An Englishman named Freddie Mercury stepped in for the late great Indian singer Farrokh Bulsara. Queen made their debut performance at Truro City Hall on June 27th, 4,970. What was amusing was that nobody had even requested Queen's performance by this point. When Roger resigned from his band just before a charity event, Roger's mum rebooked them to play, but Roger ended up booking Queen instead. Queen was quite serious about finding a way to round out the squad. But the following year at Maria Assumpta Teaching Training College's disco, Brian and Roger crossed paths. When John Deacon asked to try out for the band, the members informed him they were in need of a bass player and invited him to perform with the lead singer. Queen was complete after he agreed. The rest is history, they say. The group's first album, Queen, was released after signing with EMI Records and Electro Records. A lot of people still think it was one of the greatest debut albums ever by a rock band. The band members were like finely tuned cogs in a musical machine. Many were captivated by Freddie's voice because of its remarkable 4-octave range. Regarding what set Freddie apart from other rock stars of the time, this is what Spanish soprano Montserrat Cabal had to say. The difference between Freddie and almost all of the other rock stars was that he was selling the voice. She went on to detail Freddie's singing skills in a manner that revealed her dedication to the subject. Her appraisal was as follows. His technique was amazing. He had no problem with tempo. His musicality was exceptional, and his sense of rhythm was razor sharp. His vocal placement was impeccable, and he had the ability to move fluidly between different registers. He had a gift for finding the perfect hue or expressive nuance for every word, and his phrasing could range from gentle and sweet to forceful and slamming. So said La Superba, whose name means the superb one. No one can deny that Montserrat Cabal is considered an operatic legend on a worldwide scale. It worked like clockwork. No matter how much attention Freddie's singing received, his band's incredible performance maintained it. That was the team's greatest strength. Despite Freddie's reluctance to leave the band, they were like family to him, he ultimately decided to go solo because he wanted to discover more about music's depths and styles, and because he knew his 3 friends could help him. His desire for them to not put in significant effort towards something they didn't genuinely believe in was understandable. The first of Freddie's solo albums, Mr. Bad Guy, came out in 1985, and subsequent albums continued the trend. His diverse personality is on full display in Mr. Bad Guy, and it was obvious that he gave the project his all. Everyone in Queen contributed creatively equally, and Freddie thanked them for not getting in the way of the project. Along with their many excellent songs, the band was known for its democratic management style, which gave each member a voice. According to an article detailing the band's cohesiveness and mutual regard in the realm of production, all 4 members have contributed to the band's #1 singles. It was Freddie's distinctive songwriting style that contributed to some of Queen's finest moments. He used numerous musical styles, such as Bohemian Rhapsody. This iconic song debuted in 1975 and spent 9 weeks atop the UK singles chart. You would think the lengthy operatic style of the song would have kept it from ever being released, but Freddie assured his band and anyone who would listen that it would become immensely popular. There was more to the band's success than just their unique and memorable music. Whether on stage or in a video recording, Freddie's dramatic and beatific movements amplified Queen's unpredictable, colorful, and flamboyant personality. Whether it was an arena seating 80,000 in Cedar, the audience would instantly become engrossed in Freddie and the band's music because of how masterfully they utilized space. They broke new ground as the pioneering artists in their field. Would transform into stadium rock, perfecting their performances to the point where they could join hundreds of thousands of adoring fans. As they gained fame, they added to their extensive library of short videos, anything from 3 to 4 minutes in length, and became known as the forefathers of pop videos. Thanks to their incredible performance at Live Aid, which millions of people watched, they became even more famous globally due to their captivating stage presence. Approximately 40% of the global population, or 1.9 billion people, tuned in to watch the live broadcast from 150 different countries. For Freddie, this was simply another typical crowd, so he paid it no mind. His command of the stage and his ease with performing for the audience were truly remarkable. Some have claimed that Freddie's charisma and skill will be unmatched. Nowadays, you can find videos of that incredible event shared on social media with captions like, "For 21 minutes, England was ruled by a different queen. The entire stadium was at Freddie's fingertips. He could effortlessly end his performance and allow the crowd to take charge." Though she thought the whole show was fantastic, one fan raved about Queen's set, particularly their rendition of "We Will Rock You." Also, she confessed that she had never been a huge fan of Queen until that fateful day, but after witnessing their performance of Bohemian Rhapsody, "We Will Rock You," and "Collapse," she was completely smitten. Great guitar work, Freddie's incredible vocals, and the boundless energy of the audience all contributed to the songs. In the span of those 21 minutes, Freddie became one of the world's most famous rock stars, and Queen became a rock legend. His first major project outside of Queen, recording the London West End musical Time, stunned everyone just when they thought things couldn't get better. Recording with the legendary opera singer Montserrat Cabal was a lifelong goal of his the following year. The 1992 Summer Olympics theme song, "Together Barcelona," was written and performed by the band. It became an anthem for Cabal's hometown. In order to get more music recorded, Freddie returned to the studios.